out, you know, what's actually wrong with you, and then that's when holistic could just step in and pick it up from there. Oh yeah, we got a herb for that. We got to, and you got to get with somebody who really knows. They got to have at least 20 years experience in natural healing, you know, and holistic medicine to know exactly what herbs, because just like herbal meds can also screw you up. If you're taking two things together that you shouldn't be taking, you can poison yourself, you can kill yourself, you know, cause an organ shutdown. So there's a book, and I was going to look it up and find out what it was called, and I need to get one. But it's a herb book, and it tells you how to pretty much heal yourself with all the herbs that are available out there, and even the ones that are not. You can find you like a botanica store, which is a herbal store, but in Espanol it's botanica. But an herbal store, find you a curandera or a healer, you know, someone that really knows their stuff. I mean, I got a lady in Boulder, I got my lady down here, I got another guy in Aurora, and those are my three lifelines when I need to find out what I need for a certain issue in my body. And then when they all found out about the cancer, it was like, you know, it was like I shot up a flare or something. Everybody's calling me, dude, what's wrong? You know, let me hook you up. You know, I got you. I mean, and it's like it's crazy. I'm like, wow, look at all these people coming into this to help me get myself good. You know, but that's basically what I'm doing. You know, it's the only I am going to do an infusion because of the fact that the cancer. It's a weird cancer. It's a rare cancer. They call it carcinoma of an unknown primary, meaning that they don't know where it started. It's in my lymphatic system in my back. I got a bunch of, it's all over in my back. But it doesn't sound as bad as it sounds. I mean, I heard all over my back and I started freaking out. But the thing is I caught it early, you know, and had I not went to the hospital for what I went for, I wouldn't even know I had it, other than this swollen node on my neck and nausea I'm experiencing, you know, and thank God for that. You know, it was a blessing all the way around. It was a wake-up call. It was a tap on the shoulder from
red flag.
The creator. Yeah, the creator's like, dude, you know, get in the hospital. Started out with a stomach virus. You know, I've been having stomach issues for a long time on gastro. I know I have OBS every now and then. It comes and goes. And I had an episode, so I couldn't take the pain. I called 911 because I have insurance, you know, ambulance rides free. I figured my people had to go to work. I'll handle it. So I went to the hospital. They did a CAT scan to rule out other issues that were going on with the stomach, and that's when they found the nodes, and that's where it went from there, you know, and here I am. You know, I'm currently doing, a lot of people know it's called RSO, Rick Simpson oil. It's not the actual Rick Simpson. It's not, I shouldn't even be calling it RSO because that's a trademark and it belongs to somebody else, but just so they know what I'm talking about, it's the same thing. It's a cannabis oil. What they do is they get the whole plant, they freeze it, and then once they freeze it, they crush it, they grind it, and then crush it. That's just, I mean, I don't know the whole process, but I know they freeze it, and they grind it up, and they freeze it, and they smash it, and extract all the oil, and they cook it a certain way that opens up all the levels of, because, you know, there's CBD. Everybody knows about CBD, but there's CBDG, CBDN. It goes further and further beyond that, and you can't get that from a store-bought product. You got to get it from someone who knows how to make it, because it's got to be boiled and cooled in a certain way to unlock the certain properties of that medicine. Because you can go buy THC oil in the store that people just smoke to get high. And yeah, that's good to do, you know, while you're doing this oil thing, but there's a bigger process behind it, and it's a little more expensive. It's like 60, it could go up to $60 a gram. You know, unfortunately, I found someone that's hooking me up. I'm getting it at a really discount. She's just charging me cost. So whatever she's got to pay for her plants until she gets her own grow, and then whatever she has to soak it all in a gallon of alcohol, rubbing alcohol, to extract all the stuff out of it. She don't do it like Rick Simpson does with the solvent, because it kind of upsets the stomach. But she does it with pure grain alcohol. It's a ethanol extract, so it's more, your body can handle it a little better. And yeah, I'm just doing that, and I'm doing a gram a day. I'm at 60 grams already. I got a jump start on the whole thing, you know, because I caught it early, you know. As soon as I found out what was going on, my cousin, who's in the dispensary industry, she has a business too. and they know people. I mean, and I'm in the grow industry too. I'm a grower too. I just haven't done it for a while. But this lady, this lady's been doing it for like 30 years, and she told her about me, and she's like, bring him in. I want to hook him up. I want to take care of him.
Man, you just had an outpouring.
Because her and my cousin, they did so much stuff for each other. She goes, I want to do you a favor. I can't save your life because you're not sick, but you got a family member that's sick. Come on, bring him in. So I started doing it, and I already use marijuana. So, a lot of people won't do it because they're scared of the buzz, or they had a bad experience with edibles. And there's other ways you could do it too. I know it's crazy and it sounds fanatical, but you got to get this stuff in your body any way you can. Eat it, smoke it, put it in your food, put it in a suppository, and go up the other side. And when you do it that way, you don't get high. You don't feel the buzz. You don't feel no psychoactivity at all. It's
absorbed immediately.
And you get it straight. They say it's even better to do it that way. It won't harm your colon or nothing like that because it's all natural. It's just oil is all it is. It's just oil. And once it gets into your system and absorbed into your body, whatever remains is like anything else. It just comes out with.
It's water soluble.
Yeah. And then she has me taking a charcoal pill as well. It's a charcoal pill. So that way, every night I take a charcoal pill, and it's supposed to gather up all the toxins that this weed thing is kicking out. That I don't like to call it weed because everybody knows weed as that name's decriminalized and it's got a bad rep. But
that's right.
The cannabis, I got to keep it going. I have to keep a gram in me a day, at least a day. Yes, it gives me a buzz, but you grow a tolerance to it after a while. It's not. It ain't like you're gonna be all fucking high. Oh, excuse my language. Sorry.
That's all right.
Sorry. You're not gonna be all high. You're not gonna be all. Sorry, man. I got a potty mouth sometimes. But you're not gonna be all like freaking out. Like I've had a friend. He's sick. He's got I don't know what he's got. I think it's Parkinson's disease, and it works for that too. And he's just scared to try it because he goes, I did an edible one time and I freaked out and I almost called 911. I was walking around, I was pulling out my hair, my heart was pounding. I go, bro, it's just a mental thing. I go, because you got scared of it, that's why.
It ain't gonna kill you, is it?
Yeah.
I know. I was making some marijuana cookies the other night, and I took one and it was a whole cookie, and then I overdosed. Okay, I had too much, and I threw up. I started throwing up. But here's what I thought about. I know that this is going to kill any cancers that are in me. That's going to attack them. And at the very least, it's going to cleanse me out. And so I just, I threw up a couple of times, but I sat back and I said, I'm not going to die.
Yeah.
And you know what? In a couple of hours, I was fine,
You got to do the old, everybody knows the breathing technique. It's prone to keep you from over anxiety or amping out. Just start breathing. Just breathe. Just breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth, in through your mouth, out through your nose. Just keep reversing it. In, out, in, out, and out. Opposite. Go in through your nose, out through your mouth, in through your mouth, out through your nose. And just self-talk yourself. Just say, I'm going to be all right. Just close your eyes and go into like a little zen. And the main thing to do is calm your heart down, man, because that's what keeps you going and that's what keeps you scared. Because your adrenaline's just pumping. But an edible is not that bad and you won't die from it. You won't die. And the only way you can die from an edible, which I know you can, is if you have a weak heart and you induce a cardiac arrest because you're freaking out so bad. If you're by yourself, find someone to talk to.
Somebody,
Because if you're alone, the worst thing you can do is get on Google, man, because Google will freak you out even more. It'll scare the crap out of you. You'll think you'll be dialing 911.
One of the things that I've learned, I implore you, get on Netflix and go look for the movie, the documentary, Weed the People. This will blow your mind. Why do we use THC to heal cancer and other illnesses? Here's why. Because your body is filled with what's called cannabinoids. Yes, cannabinoids, as in cannabis. Did you know back in the 20s and 30s, pharmaceutical companies were studying, treating, curing people with cannabinoids?
Yep, they used to have a thing back in the Western days. I know it was called laudanum or something like that. It was like opium, which is a derivative of marijuana. It's just all an opiate. And they used it to cure people from leukemia, tuberculosis. They cured it for seizures, mental issues, Parkinson's disease. But then, Big Pharma came around and decriminalized it. And they did that back in the 70s. Nixon did that, and the whole government, they made it look like it was dangerous, it was bad, it was the devil, it was evil. It's going to make you do this and do that, because they knew back then what marijuana, because we have receptors in our body. We all have cannabinoid receptors in our body. And that plant is made for us. It's here for
It's a
reason.
human plant.
It's a medicine. It's an all-around, overall, Big's formula, 44D, whatever you want to call it. It's what it is.
Yep.
You know, and it's been decriminalized so bad in the law's eyes and the government's eyes that, you know, like they say, 89% of the population follows the leader. And all you got to do is poison one person's mind and get him to believe it, and it's a chain reaction. But then you got us 10%ers over here that don't just say, you know, they hand you something and you just get it and say, okay, stick it in your pocket. I'm the kind of guy that goes like this, and I'm like, okay, let's see what this is all about, you know, and that's how you got to be with anything, you know. Don't believe all the hype. Don't believe, you know, and it's called conspiracy theory for a reason, so that way you won't believe.
Yeah, you'll avoid it.
Yeah, you'll avoid it, but you know that's actual truth. If you really get into it and open up your mind and look at some of them, you know, some of them are fanatical. And you got fanatical with everything, with government, you got fanatical political, religion, you know, things that truth, you know, facts. You know, they always say if you can't believe the truth, at least understand the facts. If the facts are there, there it is. And then,
It's indisputable.
Yeah, train yourself to believe it, because whatever it is that's keeping you from believing it is keeping you from knowing, you know, what you should already know to be productive in life and not be controlled by any kind of regime or government or anything like that, you know, fanatics. I refuse to be controlled by any fanatics, whether it be political, religion, or even truth, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. You know, I want to just give a little context. You know, this show is not about cannabis and cannabinoids, but why do you think, well, let me just say, I don't pose this as a question, but let me tell you why marijuana was made illegal. Originally, there were advertisements to grow hemp. Everybody should grow hemp in America. It was very big. It was very popular. But then when Rockefeller came and invested in what's now the American Medical Association, he realized that they could make medicine from petroleum products. And they knew that they could not patent the cannabis products that were being used. And so the big pharmacy was threatened by them. But that wasn't all, because you could make textiles with cannabis, with hemp. You could make automobile parts. You can make clothing. You can make wood. You can make paper. You can make fuel. So the oil industry was threatened by them. The textiles industry was threatened by them. The rubber industry was threatened by them. The alcohol industry was threatened by them.
Everybody.
Big pharmacy was threatened by them. And so they created a demon as this country, and I'm not here to talk about the bad things of the country either, but they literally demonized anything that wasn't from the synthetically produced medicines.
Right?
And here we are. But the fact of the matter is, and I'm going to make a confession right here on this radio station. I've been smoking marijuana since I was 11 years old.
Me too.
And you know what? I'm a contributing member of society. I never kill anyone, rape anyone.
Yeah, it's never gotten in the way of me being a productive person. I've never, you know, there's cliches. Oh, it makes you lazy. It makes you stupid.
Yep.
I mean, I was a C/B average student throughout my years in school. I started smoking marijuana in junior high. I'll say the sixth grade. I'll say sixth grade is when I tried it. But all through junior high, I smoked, not a lot because I was regulated by my parents. But as I got into high school, when I was a little more freedom, you know, it was more of a recreational thing. You know, we were just, it was a thing. You know, everybody knows. Back in high school, you know, anybody who went to North High, you know, they knew about the wall and the alley, you know, the park and the ditch parties at Red Rocks, you know, and it was all about drinking and smoking, you know, and we did it, you know, we did it, and we did. I graduated from high school. Well, I didn't actually graduate. I dropped out to get a job because my notion and idea was I'd rather be making money than sit here learning about some crap from 200 years ago. And I mean, I'm trying to figure out what's going to happen in the future and what's my future. I mean, I know that all that's important. History is important. Don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking it. But my theory was I want to know about what's coming. I mean, you know, not what already happened. We know that.
Yep.
You know, if you walk around in life looking backwards all the time, you're going to hit shit all the way.
Yep.
You got to keep looking forward all the time, man. You know, stop looking back. And I do it. You know, I do it. Like I was telling Paul before the show, I have a smart side and a bad side, a dumb side. My dumb side gets the best of me, but the smart side's like, And, you know, lately as I've gotten older, I started to listen to that side a little bit more than this side. Because everything over here is fun. Everything that's good is not fun. I mean, you want to have fun.
Yeah.
Everything about having fun is bad.
Yes.
That's bad. That's bad. That's bad. Everything you eat, that's bad. That's bad. Everything you don't like, that's good, that's good, you know?
Absolutely. Hey guys, if you're just joining us, you're watching KUHS The Stream on Melody Drive. This is the Weekend Boost, and I'm your host, Paul Lane. We are talking to our guest, D-Rock, today. Hey, just out of curiosity, you know, when we first talked, you told me about all different things that you were using. I noticed you have some beads on your neck.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me about those.
I'm into gems, and I'm not really deep into it like a lot of people. I study chakra, I study feng shui. I believe in yin and yang to the fullest. I studied martial arts as a kid, and they taught us what that you know that symbol is the white and the black fish.
Mm-hmm.
Yin and yang. That's the chi of life, and that's the bad and the good realms of life. And you know, people walk around and try to be all positive. You can't be all positive. You can't be all negative.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you try to be all positive and you shut negativity out, that's when you're driving down the street and all of a sudden negativity just comes, smacks you, and you're like, what happened? Because you're not in tune with that. And I mean, you're trying to drive around with this positive tunnel in life, and all you want to see is good, you know, unicorns pooping rainbows or whatever the hell they trip on, whatever, and you don't see that bad that's around you. And that's why things happen to you. That's why you get caught up. That's why you get got. That's why you get scammed. That's why you get controlled by your government, you know, because they distract you and they...
Wait a minute, you're telling me that it's possible to go in a zone where you just have bad things happen to you?
Well, yeah, if you choose to teeter on either side of that line, but you got to learn how to stay balanced with your good and your bad. You got to accept everything that's bad, accept everything that's good. And like my sensei used to always tell me, if you're too much on one side or you're too much on the other, one side's bigger than the other, you're a wobbly wheel going down the street. So if you're balanced out, it's a smooth ride. Basically your life, you know?
Yep. Cheap. So I know that you know people who go through life and just like wake up and say, what's going to happen bad to me today? And what I've realized is they vibrate at a vibration that's at a different frequency than other people. And so what happens is you manifest negativity into your life.
Right.
Oh man, I got a lump over here. Oh, my brother got this. Oh, I got in an accident. Oh, they stole this from me. And you know, you can literally change that by changing your attitude, and that changes your frequency.
Your outlook.
Your outlook.
Yep, and you know, getting back to the gems,
Yes.
this has a lot to do with that. You know, and you gotta believe in it. If you don't believe in it, it probably won't work for you, just like anything else. You know, even the machine he has, if you got doubts about it or you don't think it's gonna work, then it's probably not gonna work. You know, just like anything in life, you gotta be positive. That's when you stay all positive about something. It's gonna work, it's gonna work, it's gonna work. You tell yourself that. You gotta tell yourself that every day so your subconscious hears that. You're telling yourself, I'm gonna get better, I'm gonna get better, this is gonna work. And just like these, you know, there's a certain gem for certain things. I wear a tiger eye because it helps with your masculinity and it keeps you just being an overall natural person. And the hematite is for protection. See, because what a lot of people don't know is that your body has two receptors. This is everything your left hand touches is your input, and everything comes out of your right. So that's the reason why we shake hands with the right hand, so that way negative energy isn't taken in through your body.
Your intake.
I was always taught to never shake with your left hand because that's where energy is drawn in. So if someone has negative energy and they're trying to feed you negative energy, or they don't even know it, they pass it along. Negative people will pass that energy along. And you'll take it if you're not protected from it. And this...
Yes, especially if you're an empath.
These are my protection right here, and they're my symbols in my mind. Whether they work or not, it's the symbol in my mind that lets my subconscious know that this isn't letting anything in to harm me.
Yep, it's protective.
Yeah.
And you know, this is measurable. The energy from crystals is measurable. It's not theory, it really is truth. I keep a black tourmaline my wife brought me. I love this thing. It looks great, and it's a protective stone.
Right.
And you know, the more I've learned about crystals and stones and centering and balance and chakras, it's like this is real stuff. This is an actual science. It's not theory.
Yeah. When you get past the hoopla of it and look into the science and the actual research that's been found in it, you find out that it's actually. Because I was kind of like, my brother taught. My brother's the one who turned me on to all this, and. I used to laugh at it. I mean, like, oh,
I do too. My daughter did it. I'm like,
dude, what are you doing, bro? He said, get this rock, bro. He has all these stones and gems in his house.
Take him out for the full moon.
Yeah, and touch it, rub it, hold that. Do you feel the
Oh,
energy?
yeah.
I'm like, I don't feel nothing but a rock in my hand.
Oh yeah,
You
I
know?
was the same way.
Yeah, and then I started reading up on it. I started getting curious because I'm like that. And I started researching it. I'm like, this stuff is real. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I started watching how they put rocks. They do like meditations, and they put like stones. You have a stone for each part of your. I don't know them by heart. My brother knew all of that, but there's a certain gem for each part of your body. The middle part of your body, the head, the center, the legs, and those rocks are important, to your health.
Yep, to your mental being, your state of mind, your attitude, everything.
Yeah, there's a thing out there. If you look it up, it's called a gem Bible. If you're interested in gems. And the gem Bible will explain to you what each gem does and what healing properties it has. Because these rocks are here for a purpose. We're made of these rocks.
Exactly.
We're walking products of this planet.
Stardust.
Our DNA was from who knows. We don't know where it came from because they say we're not from this planet. Our soul, but our bodies are. They derived us from this planet and installed a soul. Whoever did all this, if you believe in all that, I do. There's a creator. Someone made us,
Mm-hmm.
Someone put us on this planet thousands of years ago, to be what we are today. But, we are all these rocks. All these rocks are in our bodies. We're, like they say, from dust you come, to dust you go,
Yep.
So here we are, and you can't laugh at something that's like laughing at yourself, you know what I mean?
So crystals is really a way that many people use to help with their illness, the treatment of illness, including cancer.
Right.
Now, a couple of weeks ago, I was watching the news, and Dr. Sanjay Gupta made an announcement that there was a new technology out, and they were actually introducing sound into bone marrow, and it released stem cells.
Yep.
And I thought, man, that's pretty awesome, because I've been a big proponent of sound technology. I brought my Tibetan singing bowls. I have a small one and a large one. This one's pretty heavy. I just picked it up, but I'm just going to show you how this sounds. I'm going to take my ring off. But this actually resonates with the human bones.
Yeah, and you hold it and it vibrates we vibrate like that. I mean, that's amazing.
You can literally cleanse a room with this too, by the way. This sound is very cleansing. So,
and when you're meditating, you're doing that, and you're taking that in, it has a lot of
resonance.
Effect.
Yeah, when I meditate, I'll sit down and I'll use. I just got this one last week, but I've had this one for a long time. And people see this and they think it's novelty and they think it's cute. This was $350. There's a reason for it being there.
Yeah.
It's hand hammered by Tibetan monks, but listen to that tone. Now, I've used this on people with terminal cancers. I've used this with people who have seizures. I've used it with all different things. So sound is another possibility, and it's another option. Why are we talking about this? For 100 years, the American Medical Association has insisted on the big three. When you get cancer, you get surgery, chemotherapy, radiation. We got cell phones that have more technology than they had in the first space shuttle, the space vehicles, but we don't have any change in the way we're treating cancer.
Because there's more money in the treatment than there is the cure.
You can't patent the cure. And if they can't patent the cure...
Well, what's crazy is they poison your mind thinking, oh, there's a cure coming, there's a cure coming, there's a cure coming. Just keep giving us your money and we'll keep you alive until the cure comes. It's already here.
Yep.
There's already a cure here. I met a lady that was from the Andes, from where the rainforest is at. This lady, she was a healer. She was a medicine lady too. And she said there's more stuff in that. Why do you think they keep trying to destroy that rainforest?
Man.
Because there's everything in there we need to survive.
Every medicine that you can imagine.
Why do you think they protect it the way they do? The tribes that are down there. You got to have permission to go in there. They'll kill you. They'll take you out. What are you doing down here?
There are natural cures for cancer.
Yeah,
there absolutely are.
Yep, there's stuff down there that you'd be surprised. And just with that and what your mind is capable of doing, because I was taught that too, in meditation and martial arts, how to block out pain with your mind and how to, and the sensei said that's just the tip of the iceberg that you're controlling with your mind. Because you can control everything with your mind. You can manifest that
Yep.
cancer right out of your body with
You
your mind.
absolutely can.
If you were strong enough and you know how to do it, you know how to do it.
Mhm.
He goes, you know, but there's other ways too as well. But he goes, if your mind is strong like that, because I meditate, you know, and I meditate on, and like my buddy asked me, he goes, you know, he kind of like clowns on it, you know, he jokes with me and everything. What was you meditating about today, bud? You know. And then one day, I guess he just got curious. He goes, you know what? What do you do when you meditate? What do you think about? What is it all about? I said, meditate is you're going into a realm where you're drawing things. The way you draw negativity to your body by thinking negative and all that, you're drawing in all these properties to heal yourself.
Mhm.
And by listening to certain music and certain tones, it takes you to another realm. Like back in the day, I know they say Native Americans, they smoked marijuana to get into a certain level of thinking and realm,
Consciousness.
so they can contact their shamans, you know, and that was, you know, they lit incense and they inhaled that smell so they can go to another level of existence, so they could speak to these shamans and all these healers and get the medication, in other words, our creator, in other words, you know, that's how they contacted the creator,
Mhm.
by sniffing an incense, you know, like the Catholic religion, they use frankincense, you know, the frankincense is known to take you into a realm so you can communicate with God.
Mhm.
You know, all the things that were brought to Jesus when he was born,
Frankincense and
yeah, it was gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Frankincense is your ability to communicate with your creator. The myrrh was what they embalmed you with when you died, and the gold was your lifeline. That was your money, your ability to live and carry on. You know, that's what I learned from it. You know, I mean, there might be other theories, and don't quote me on anything I say because I'm not a theorist or whatever. I'm just some cat that reads. You know what I mean?
Hey man, this guy knows a lot of stuff.
I'm not trying to say I'm doctoring anything, and don't quote me in a textbook to what I say, because I get the bits and pieces here and there, and I'm just somebody who likes to read and know about things, you know,
You bet.
and know there's a better way than sticking poison in your body, you know, like just like in pills, you know, like they show them pills, or I can't think, you know, Ozempla or whatever on TV, and they got a cool little song that we used to listen to back in the day that attracts you to watching it, and you know, oh, it's for this and it's for that, and they make it look all, they glorify it, and then at the end you get all the crap.
The side effects.
Yeah. You might die, you might get this, you might get that,
Yeah,
you might get this, you
lymphoma,
might get that, you might get this, you
cancer,
might
you
get that.
get seizures,
And then
you
gotta
get
figure out,
organ discharge.
Now, is it worth it to take one pill to take away one little issue?
Symptom.
And you're gonna get all this other crap, you know, and what's crazy is you're not gonna get all those side effects, but some people get some people get others. So they have to list them all to cover their butt, so that way you can't sue. But, you know, why would you take one little pill to heal one certain problem in your body and upset all this other stuff when you could just go drink a tea or take an herb or some natural plant growing out of the ground? My grandma used to go around, my grandma was a curandera, and my grandma used to go around picking up weeds off the sidewalk. Those weeds you see on the sidewalks, they grow out, they have like little leaves. She used to call it colitas or something like that. She had some name for it, and I used to tell her, Grandma, why are you picking those? Those are weeds. No, that's medicina. That's medicina.
Yeah.
And then one day she showed me how she would do it. You know, because Grandma was our cure. We never went to the doctor. Little Grandma.
Mhm.
Grandma, my stomach, yeah, I went. Grandma, my this. Well, I got this here, drink that. Grandma, my tooth here, chew on that. You know.
Yeah.
And it was gone. We used to think Grandma was a miracle healer.
Yeah. That's a lost art. That's a lost art.
Yeah.
You know, I actually purchased the book, The Lost Ways, which is a book of natural medicines that you find in your yard. And if you see this coming online every once in a while, and I got it, and I haven't spent a lot of time in this because I've been involved in so many other things, but I want to talk about this book really quick, Becoming Supernatural. If you are battling something and you would like to find a way to address it with things other than or in addition to medicine, this is a fantastic resource, and it talks about literally healing yourself of stage 4 cancers, literal brain tumors. And it explains manifesting, but it actually explains what you were talking about. In our body, we have 7 energy centers they're called chakras, and they're ancient. People have known, 5,000 years. Chinese medicine has been talking about these. So these chakras are literally energy centers that have a literal mind of their own. Like you could take someone's heart and put it in someone else's heart, and they'll have the thoughts of that person. Believe it or not. The same is true when you have a crown chakra, you have a third eye chakra, you have a throat chakra, you have a heart chakra, you have a solar plexus chakra, you have a chakra here, I forget the name of this, and then you have a root chakra, which is your
Productive system.
reproductive system. But what happens is when you have things going on in your life and you're not communicating with someone and you're not successful and you're sick, if you look and if you were able to get a special lens, you would see that your chakras get out of alignment. And when your chakras are in alignment, your body is in what's called homeostasis, which is natural health. So get this book. I mean, this is a fantastic book. I love it. Dr. Joe Dispenza, love it. Another one that I want to mention before we move on is Donna Denome wrote this book, 8 Keys to Wholeness. Oh my gosh. This talks about the chakras and chakra healing and finding wholeness in your body. Donna was a guest on the show. Fantastic writer and person to know. So I wanted to mention those before I forgot. So when I first met you just a couple of days ago, I just reached out to you.
Right.
And you were feeling pretty sick.
Yep, I don't feel like I have cancer, but there are things there that remind me of my stomach. I mean, I got severe nausea. It's severe, it's moderate, it's mild. It's kind of, this whole thing is just weird. I can't figure it out. The doctors can't give me a straight answer. You know, my theory is when you ask a doctor a question about something and they say, well, try this or try that, that tells you right there they don't know because they can't give you a straight answer. You know, nausea comes with cancer. It's a kind of nausea where you can't eat. It kills your appetite. You can't hold nothing down. But this nausea I have, it's like gas. It's like if I sit up straight like that and burp real hard or pass gas or lay on my left side to let everything flow through, it goes away. I can eat and I can get the nausea while I'm eating and it don't disrupt my ability to eat or keep eating. I love to eat, and I don't. My appetite's still there. Mm-hmm. I'm not losing. I lost 9 pounds, but that's because I've been sugar-free for 41 days. 41 days, praise God. I mean, He took it from me. You know, back in 2005, God took drugs from me. I was bad on drugs. I was really bad. I thought I was going to die a junkie. Mm-hmm. You know, literally. And I just got on my knees and cried to God to give me back my life. He did, miracle.
Hey, bro, why did you cut out sugar?
Because that's what cancer eats.
You hear that, guys?
That's what cancer eats.
That's fertilizer, man.
If you got cancer, man, you got to stop eating
out
sugar.
The Pepsi, guys.
No pop. No
16
candy.
teaspoons full of sugar in a can of Pepsi.
You know, your body needs sugar to function. Your mind does. There's organs that require it, but stop the candy. Stop the cookies. You know,
the soda pop.
The soda pop. If you drink teas, you know, there's going to always be sugar in something. You know, you can't completely eliminate it from your life. But I was the kind of person that would wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning jonesing for chocolate. You know, I literally almost drive to the store to go get a candy bar. I'm waking up my wife. Hey, babe, you got a piece of chocolate over there? She's like, what are you doing? It's 3 o'clock in the morning. You know, and I need some chocolate. You know, candy. It's an addiction. It's like a dope. It's like drugs.
It is an addictive.
It is, yeah. And it's hard to quit. You know, it's not easy, man. I asked God to take it. I got on my knees like I did when I got on my knees and cried to Him about the drugs. Mm-hmm. I said, Lord, you need to take this from me. I can't do it alone, and it's the only way I want to live. I woke up the next day, and it was like I was reset. I mean, no jonesing, no wanting candy, you know, just like the drugs, you know, overnight. He took cocaine from me. He took drinking from me. He took drugs from me. The thought process, the whole 9 yards that goes with being a drug addict and addicted to a substance, you know. And overnight it was gone. When I woke up, I felt clean. I mean, I don't even know how to explain it, you know. And I'm not the kind of guy that just makes stuff like this up, but it was real.
So
it opened up my eyes to the Lord, to spirituality, divine intervention, everything I was doubting in the past, prayer. You know, a lot of people say, "Oh, prayer don't work," because you got to be sincere in your heart, and you got to meet God halfway if you want something. God's not a genie. You can't rub a lamp and poof, there it is. Right. And you can't ask for money or, you know, you ask for help in financial. You ask for, you know, you can't ask for dumb things like, oh, God, can I have a new phone? I want a new iPhone. Oh, I want a new iPhone. It's not going to happen because
He's not a genie.
Yeah, He's not a genie. You know, He'll probably bring it to you in some other way or bring you some kind of other resource where you can get that if you really want it. But back to what I was saying, he cleansed me overnight. I woke up the next day, the Jones was gone. I didn't want to. Usually when I get up, the first thing I want is a cigarette. I couldn't even, it was like wow, where did it go? I'm just sitting there freaking out, you know. I'm not wanting anything. And I'm getting ready to go do some time, and everybody's looking at me like, damn, this guy's all happy. Why is he all happy? He's getting ready to go do some time. Because I got my life back. And while I was in there, I battled with, I stood on the wagon, I stood with God. I even brought a couple other guys and turned them around, you know, and got them off of drugs and crime and selling. One guy was a drug addict, the other guy was a drug dealer. You know, and I told him, you know, and we just talked about it and got him straightened out, you know, not all religified, not all fanatic. You know, I just showed him the Word of God and what happened to me, explained it to me, and they did it. And you know, and like a lot of people, you know, they find God in jail, they leave God in jail. You know, I did that a lot, but I took him with me when I left, and these guys did too, because I ran into them on the streets later on, and they're like, "Hey, D-Rock, what's up? Remember me? Yeah, I remember you. How you doing? Doing good. You straight?" And they're like, "I'm straight. Ever since that day, dude, you made me see the light, bro. I got out, got a job. I applied. I told him, dude, there's resources, there's loans. You know, this one guy got out and started his own business.
See, that's, and so
he was living off of drugs. I mean, he was living off drug money. He set that down to get straight, get right, and get a job, and he got a business. He goes, now I'm making more money than I was making drugs, and it's legal. Yeah.
So we can add your faith to one of the tools that you can use in battling cancers. But here's what I want to add to that: pray like everything depends on God, but roll like everything depends on you.
Right.
You know, I mean, if you are faith, a person of faith, I encourage you, go to church, talk to your pastor, talk to your clergy, and and rely on that faith, because that is a healer. And many people have been healed through faith over the years.
But you know, with that comes caution too, because there's a lot of bad. There's a lot of people that use that as a way to control people and brainwash people and pull them in. You know, I'm not saying that everybody's like that, but I don't know. That's just me.
It can be just like anything else.
Because I had a buddy that got into trouble. He got caught up in a life situation, and he went to the church. And now, man, this guy, he's a fanatic. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. But you can't. Religion, politics, anything, knowledge is like food. If a person doesn't want it, they're not. If it's like me. If someone tried to make me eat liver, I don't eat liver. And they're trying to force me to eat this liver. Come on, bud, eat this liver. I'm like, no, I don't want to hear it. I'm sticking it down my throat. That's what that is. That's what I call fanatical doctrine, as far as political or religion. So just be careful who you talk to. I mean, don't get caught up.
Don't shove it down.
You're vulnerable when you're in that state of mind, and you're coming to somebody for help, and some people take advantage of that. You got to watch that. Just keep on your guard. Keep your guard up.
Yeah.
But don't keep it out too hard.
Yeah.
But just keep your guard up and be careful who you talk. Talk to someone. You confide in someone that someone that's,
Yeah. So really, what we wanted to ultimately talk about today was, working with remedies or the ways people are addressing their cancers. And recently, I was introduced to something that was just cutting edge. I've been in the mindset of frequency technology for many years. I studied infrared technology over 20 years ago. So when I was introduced to this, it was right in my realm of interest. And so a friend of mine, May Tran, told me about this technology, and she was very new to her. And she said, this unit's $350. And I said, just bring me one. I trust you, May. And she brought me a unit, and I started using it. And I right away went to someone with stage 4 cancer, man. I said, I'm going to go to the challenge. She's on hospice, and she's been sent home to die, and the chemotherapy wasn't working her. And on the 9th of February, I treated her with this unit, and I injected this frequency into her body. And on the 14th of February, Valentine's Day, she went with her husband to Blackhawk. And those of you who are not from Colorado, Blackhawk is about an hour drive from Denver, and she stayed there gambling for 5 hours. Stage 4, hospice care, walking around with a rocker, 5 hours at Central City. This unit, this device has made her feel that much better.
And I got a chance to experience it a couple days ago, and I don't knock nothing, because I don't knock nothing. I learned not to. I learned that the hard way by missing out on stuff that I could have been using years ago, that I'm just starting to believe in now and get into. But I tried it. And, you know, he did the whole little therapy on me, a nice little back rub and all that, got me all loosened up, ran the machine over my whole body. And when I went to his house that day, I was kind of hurting. I had a bad shoulder, stepped on it wrong. I was having some pain in my side. My back is always acting up. I get spasms in my back, spasms in my leg. I got a bad sciatic nerve. Yes, I'm old. I'm beat up. But you know, he ran this machine over me, and I soaked it in. I said to myself, you know what? This is going to work. This is going to help me. As I was laying on that bed, I just meditated. I said, this is going to work. So I opened it. By doing that, you open up all those receptors in your body.
Receptors.
And all them healing properties just go in. When I walked out of there, I told him, dude, I felt like, I go, man, I just feel like I came out of the chiropractor or something, man. You know, my back feels good. I feel rejuvenated. I was kind of feeling kind of sluggish, you know. I felt like, you know, I'm not saying I was all hyped up and ready to go run around the world or whatever, but I just felt rejuvenated, like I had a good night's sleep, you know, and I just felt like all my pH was balanced, all my alkaline, all my body chemicals are just leveled out. I was like, yeah.
Tell me about the lymph node, the swollen.
Yeah, and even the thing on my neck, I got a big lymph node on my neck. You probably can't see it because of the lighting and all that, but there's 2 lymph nodes on my neck that sometimes it gets like really big, and it was kind of big that day I was at his house, and he ran the machine over it, and the next day it was flat. It was like flat, stood like that for a couple days, and then I started stressing it out because, you know, like a lot of people are telling me, even the doctor, like, dude, you need to rest. You need to get some rest. But I'm not a resting person. I'm always on the go. I'm always move. I'm doing something. I can't lay in bed. I mean, it's just not me. But that day, the next day, I laid in bed all day and rested. I just laid around.
Recovered, yeah.
Yeah, I just laid around, slid into PJs all day and just watched TV and, you know, mess around with some music, get on the computer, watch TV, and it stayed flat. It wasn't hurting. I mean, like now, if you feel it, it feels like there's 2 marbles in my neck about that big. There's one right here and there's one right here, and they're hard. They're like real firm. When he did the machine, they were like flat and they were real soft, like real soft, you know. And I was like, wow. I mean, that thing really worked.
Yeah. How does it work? So here's kind of a simple explanation. If you look at the light spectrum, at the high end of it, you see microwaves. In microwave ovens, they actually penetrate meat and flesh to heat that whole thing. But the problem is it's a positive ion charge, and so what happens is you notice your plate gets hot, but your plate doesn't get hot, but your food does. Well, it's heating all that meat and flesh, but it's radiated, it's irradiated, and that is not good for you. In fact, in Europe, I understand that they're outlawing microwaves. So if you continue on that spectrum, there's actually far infrared, and right between far infrared and microwave is terahertz. Terahertz is a frequency that is aligned with the human body and human health. So, if you have a cancer cell that's vibrating at this, and they all vibrate like anything in
The whole body vibrates.
Yes, at a frequency, and your body is at this frequency, guess what? This is going to disturb all your body. But when I can get this frequency into your body, guess what? Anything that's not in this frequency is obliterated. It's obliterated, and not all at once, but it slowly is melted away.
I got a good example of how to make the younger generation understand the frequency thing. I know a lot of us young people, we got these stereos that you can hear 10 blocks away, and I have a buddy that has a stereo, man, and I got in it and he turned it up down. That bass was so deep, man, I think I almost pooped myself, man. And that's a vibration, that's a hertz, that's a hertz.
Yep.
That's what we vibrate on. Hertz.
You can feel your bones vibrate.
Yeah, and that's an example of how your body vibrates, how you absorb them frequencies that are coming through that sound. You know, that sound will go, that sound can go right through you.
Yes, it can.
Right through you.
Yes,
you know,
it can.
They even did something on South Park. It was a joke. They called it the brown noise. It was a frequency they discovered that would make everybody poop themselves. And they would put it on a mic and make everybody in the store poop themselves. But, you know, in all reality, if you had something strong enough, I mean, the government even uses it to control people. They got these waves that, for riots, they point it at you, and it throws a frequency at you so high that you can't hear it, but your body can. And it'll make you...
It'll stop you in your tracks.
It'll make you poop yourself. I mean, it will drop you. It'll drop you to the floor.
Yes, it will.
So that's just a higher radiation of that frequency. This is more of a safer way of doing it, but your body needs that. And I mean, you know,
yes.
And all they're doing is just raising it up to a higher frequency than your body, so it could disrupt your function. It does the same thing to the cancer, man. It's raising that cancer up to a level to where it can't live, but you can't feel it, but the cancer is just like freaking out. It's in there going, and then all of a sudden it just eradicates.
Now, I'm going to tell you, by law, we cannot say that this will treat, cure, or diagnose, and I'm
Right.
making that statement right now. All I'm telling you is that there are things out there that will work for you. There are frequencies that will work for you. There are medicines that will work for you, herbs that will work for you, crystals that will work for you, mentalities that will work for you, faith that will work for you, and there's frequencies.
And it's all based on the theory of halfway. So you got to meet it halfway.
Yep.
It's there. It's like, here's the door, it's open, you got to walk through. It
Yeah.
can't pull you through. No one's going to pull you through.
That's right.
You got, and even if I take you through, that doesn't mean it's going to work, because you might not want to go through that door.
Mhm.
But that door's open, you got to go through it. And that's with anything in life. Anything. With something you want, open the door, go through it, make it happen.
Yep.
Will it on yourself, manifest it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If you got a
Because-
Cadillac and you don't put the key in the ignition, that
Yeah.
Cadillac's going to be a paperweight.
Right.
So you got to do a little bit of effort there.
Going back to the genie in the lamp thing, you can't just stare at that lamp and expect it to give you your wish. You gotta make the effort to get it. I mean, like anything else in life, you gotta make the effort to get it.
Roll like it all depends on you.
Yep. If closed mouths don't get feed, that's the best way to explain it.
Yep.
You know, in a theoretical way of saying it, you know, if you don't open your mouth, you're not gonna be able to eat the food, so you can't go.
That's
You gotta open your mouth. So
and you gotta chew.
There's the opportunity. If you don't go get it, it's not going to come to you. And you may get lucky and it may come to you. Because I've had a lot of opportunities come to me. I didn't even go after it. It just came to me. And maybe I willed it on myself or whatever. But the mind, dude, the mind.
There are so many
Learn about it.
so many people out there who have discovered ways to treat cancer. Harry Hoxsey in the 1930s discovered that red clover literally would cure cancer. If you look at Gerson, the Gerson Institute I believe it's in San Diego, California, they're treating people with, believe it or not, coffee enemas.
Right.
The Renee, I think her name's Budwig, Dr. Budwig has the Budwig method, where she uses cottage cheese and flaxseed oil to treat cancer.
Yep.
There's so many. Renee Case discovered something while she actually learned it from the Ojibwe Indians, but it was a tea that treated cancer, and you could buy it in the health food store. It's called Essiac tea for cancer.
Yep. And you can laugh at that all you want, man. But when you look at the results and the output of that, and how many people see, like me, I heard about the oil thing when Tommy Chong cured himself, Rick Simpson cured himself. There's another doctor that didn't even know anything about weed cured himself, and that's when I said, well, you know, I need to try this, you know, and I need it to work, you know, and the lady came to me that my cousin introduced me to. She goes, I got all these people right here. And I talked to another guy that does it too, and he has a website of testimonials of everybody he's helped. And what's crazy is all these people that are helping people are people who were cured by someone that helped them. And that pay it forward method is just going and going and going.
That's right.
You got to pay it forward, man. People need help. I mean,
That's a fact.
you know, people are asking for help, you know, like say for instance for me, you know, I mean, people, I have a GoFundMe on the internet, and they're like, well, you know, people are probably thinking, well, he don't need money, he's got everything he needs. I mean, I'm not working right now. I got enough, I make enough to survive, you know. I just ask for money to help me with this oil because it's expensive. It's like $10 a gram, and if you figure just to get started and get in the mood with it, you got to have at least 60 grams in your body within 2 months. So that's $600 right there, you know. That's $600 that I really don't have to just do that with, you know. And I don't even have that kind of money laying around. I mean, just to get something like that. But it's a lifeline. I gotta have it, you know. So I'm doing whatever I can to get it. We're gonna do a benefit in March 27th. If you're on my Facebook page or on the station's Facebook page or Paul Chavez or his Facebook page, whatever, you'll see the post for it. We're going to do a little fundraiser to try how we get some money to keep this oil flowing, you know. And
any donations, guys, any donations you can help this guy out with.
Trust me, it's going to what I need it for. I'm not trying to get a free ride. I'm the kind of person that don't even like to ask for stuff like this, but I was talked into it by other people. Dude, you need help. You need to ask for help. You don't need to be stressing on how you're going to get it. You need to be stressing on how you're going to get well. And we can't have you tripping on negativity stuff that's going to affect your healing. If I want to self-heal, I got to stay positive in all means. possible. And I can't be stressing on where am I going to get money to get this oil? How am I going to get my bills paid? How am I going to get my supplements? Supplements. I'm throwing down like $220 for a 90-day supply. Every 90 days, $220 for all the natural supplements I need. Do we have time to go through that list, or?
We got about 8 minutes.
8 minutes, okay, well, I'll post something up, but I'm basically, right now, I'm taking like flaxseed. There's a thing called moringa seed oil, and moringa seed oil helps break down the fungus in your body, which is where the cancer starts. The cancer starts as a fungus in your body, and your body overproduces too much fungus, like mine, and that's where the cancer starts. It starts killing off cells, and it creates what they call necrosis, where the cell dies, and the cancer takes over. So I'm doing like moringa, flaxseed, taking get the gory apple cider vinegar that has the mother in it. It has that same mother, because you're not getting none of the benefits of it.
It has to have the mother.
Zinc, 11 grams of zinc every day, 1,000 milligrams of vitamin D3 a day, 500 milligrams of vitamin C, another supplement called quercetin with ester C, which helps promote immune health and kills cancer cells at the same time. And that's just a little bit of things that I'm doing. I get off the sugar. Got to get off the sugar, man, or you're gonna
Feed the cancer.
or you're gonna need chemo. I mean, with this stuff right here, you may not need it. I almost didn't need it, but the fact that it's all over in the areas and it's prone to attaching to something at any time, I gotta do the treatment to keep that cancer under control. The oil will do the rest. So if you got cancer and you look into that oil, just look into it, find out what it's about. Even if you don't use marijuana, if you do, that's a plus, because you'll be able to get right in it. You'll be able to just jump right in that program. I did, you know what I mean?
So I want to close out by just talking about this iTerracare unit. This technology was developed in Japan. It's a 40-year-old technology. Actually was invented, created, or discovered in the United States, and of course they gave away the patent. But they've done extensive research, so there's zero electromagnetic frequency and with this when you're using it, so it's extremely safe. The frequency that's going to put out is going to help with a host of different